These are the latter days.
Travis Wingoodsall. Okay, Stanford. Let's see what you got for me. I know that he has something that he wants my reply on because at the end he asked for my insight. It's on the video. Did President Russell Marion Nelson, notice how I always say the full name. I don't do the typical letter only for either the middle or the first name. There's a reason, and we'll see what happens if I get to talk about it. Hint, Jesus was married and will marry all Mormon virgin girls. Everybody loves that one. They hate the living prophets of Jesus. But this one is loved. I don't get it, Mormons. I don't get it. It's like you've never even listened to conference. You've never heard them actually speak. It's like you slept during conference and it didn't sink in through osmosis. And so when you're hearing it for the first time in these short little clips, no, that's not true. Fake news. Thumbs down. He would never say that. Yes, he did. Yes, they all did. You're supposed to run the test on prophets' words. Are they true or are they false? It's not a matter of spiritual witness, opinion, feelings. There are consequences for implementing them. And those consequences are going to be good or bad. So if you're wanting to ignore Trump, and redefine what he says, and now you're disappointed that he's doing what he said, but not what you wanted him to say. Dear God, bunch of dumbasses. We had a first term with him. You forgot all that stuff, huh? God, we need clarification. We're getting rid of the criminals. Everybody but the white master race of males are whom he calls criminals. Have you not figured that out? We need clarification. We're doing what you asked. No, you're not. There are 600,000 in Utah alone on Trump's hit list. And Governor Cox says, I don't understand. We're getting rid of the criminals. We need clarification. Everybody's playing dumb. Anyway, I digress. We're making another video instead of a comment reply video for Stanford. Nelson is incapable of knowing the scriptures, and he put that in quote because that's what I said in the video. He is. He's demonstrated he is incapable of knowing the scriptures. He keeps altering them. And I keep telling you guys, fact check him. When he quotes a scripture, go to the scripture. You'll see how wrong he is. Not just for his inability to translate. He is purposely making up new scriptures at the pulpit of conference, and you need to be very careful not to be deceived by that, because those alterations are your coded communication for what they're going to do to you. They're going to murder you and hold you hostage in bondage to Jesus. So yes, it is vital that Mormons study their scriptures, and the church knows you won't because they've ordered you not to. You're supposed to just look at the page and get the right feeling. Oh, I'm good for another hour. Before the spirit leaves me and I get tempted to look at porn. Sister, you need to cover up and hide. Mom! My sister's not covered up and hidden. You know it's coming. And there's going to be boarding school for Mormon girls and a boarding school for Mormon boys to keep them separated. And once they get weaned from their mommies, they're off to the boarding schools. And the women will be trained on how to be a trad wife Mormon, and the boys will be told the Spartan battle to the death to see if they can survive to become a religious church leader or a slave in the mines, the uranium mines. You know it's coming, and yet you're all in denial, thinking you're still going to get your 30 dolls for Christmas. When the rich people are giving gifts of eggs for Christmas. Oh, wow, an egg of great price. Oh, I love you, dear. Thank you. This is exactly what I wanted. Mark 4 immediately came to mind. And so, okay. He references Mark 12. So let's get ourselves on to Mark 12. so we can follow along. Make sure Stanford isn't trying to create his own doctrine, like Nelson. Mark's recording of the parable of the seed and the sower. And then he quotes, "Listen, behold, a sower went out to sow." Am I getting this right? 4:12. Oh my God. And Matthew, what the hell? Okay. Yeah, verse 3. Hearken, behold, there went out a sower to sow. They have a footnote for 3a, Doctrine and Covenants 86. I know where this should go. Whether or not Stanford will talk about it, we'll find out. You know, where Jesus says he speaks in parables, so that seeing people shall see, and not see, and hearing they shall hear, and they shall not understand, unless perhaps they shall be converted, and their sins be forgiven them. Heaven forbid. That was verse 12. Specifically, Mark 4. Is that perfume? Mark 4, 18 to 20. And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word. Oh, this is the parable of the soils, rocky, thorny, wayside, and the good soil. For the one and only one seed into the egg, ground. How could Mormons be so stupid? Seriously, oh my God. We need to protect the children. All the babies who are breastfeeding have gone blind. We need to protect them. Women's bodies are evil. They're harmful. They've got the looks that kill. You were taking drugs, listening to Motley Crue, weren't you? Oh man, it's so true. Women do have the looks that kill. When I become senator, I'm gonna ban all porn. So that we can cover women up and hide them. Just like those Islamists. Church is so true. Why are Mormons so stupid? Why? Why? Oh my God. Specifically, Mark 4, 18 to 20. Of the 4 seed ground environments, there is only one that bears fruit. Yeah. The others all fail. We liken the word unto a seed. The other 3 seeds are fruitless for differing reasons. First 2 sets up seeds never get to the fruit-bearing stage, but the 3rd set that fell among the weeds bear no fruit, and those Sown among the thorns are those who have heard the word, and the cares of this world and the seductiveness of wealth and other desires are entering in, choking the word, and it becomes unfruitful. And they that were sown in the good ground. Did you have wayside? You have weeds, thorns. You forgot wayside. I think you meant, because thorns and weeds are similar, so I think you meant wayside for, unless there's weeds and thorns. Let's see. And the sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown. And when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that is sown in their hearts. The birds from Alfred Hitchcock. Or is it the crows from that other guy? I'm drawing a blank. It was on The Simpsons. Anyway, Edgar Allan Poe. And these are they likewise that are sown on stony ground, heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and then have no root, and so they perish. And these are they that are sown among the thorns, such as hear the word, cares of the world, deceitfulness, riches, lusts, entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. These are they that are sown on good ground. So wayside is different than thorns. Wayside is the path that is stamped down by feet. That's the wayside. And so it's not able to get into the ground to take root. And so the sun burns it and people step on it. It's similar to the salt that has lost its savor because people have dumped out the salt onto the road or the sidewalk or whatever they had. It's a path by the homes. Anyway. And so people step on it and the salt loses its savor because it's mixed in with dirt and grime and corruption and all kinds of crap. And so thus, it's not salty anymore, unless it's lost its savor. Same with the seed. If you just toss it on the wayside, it's not able to take root in anybody to believe. You know, YouTube is such that all of these have the option to choose what they want. They can either come to my channel and believe, they can come and say, well, no, Jesus is the Christ, we're not Jewish. Or they come thinking that I'm a faith-promoting Mormon, like and subscribe, and then eventually don't do anything with what I talk about, and thus the Jewishness of my message dies in them because they're still in fantasy land Jesus. And then the wayside, Mormons, what's that? Aren't they a cult? Don't you guys have funny underwear? Jesus said, have no other gods before me. It's awesome that you're criticizing the church, but stay away from Trump. Trump is going to be assassinated by this church. Oaks hacked Comey. He's been framed and blamed. And it pisses me off that the Secret Service are talking to him. That the Secret Service are not talking to the church. Hey, wait a minute. Joseph Fielding Smith says that you guys are planning a coup to overthrow the government, and you're calling Trump Lucifer. This is religion. It's just religion. It's all spiritual. It's not an actual coup of the government. It's spiritual. But Thomas B. Marsh, he's a disgruntled Mormon. You can't trust him. Oh my God. I am seeing all of this happen in real time. I know what caused it, the whole plot to it, the 200 years, all of their words on this. I am now seeing it getting fulfilled, and I'm just going, oh my God, nobody's listening to me. Choking the word, and it becomes unfruitful. Silence them with threats of violence. Oh, man. This describes the condition of the church today, a direct outgrowth of Brigham et al. Yep. Brigham and Danites, the thorns, tares, question mark. 86. Do you not know 86? I don't see you reference 86. Let's go to 86. 86 it. Perfect. That was perfect. Perfect. Oh my God. Because this is it. This is the death threat. Joseph Smith exposes who's gonna be the cause of the death threat. And why isn't the Secret Service investigating this church? What the hell? What the bleeping hell? What does it take? Oh my God. Whoosah. You're angry. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. You're saying that I'm angry is making me angry. Bad boys, what you gonna do? Hilarious. Hilarious. Whoosah. Oh, papi. That means daddy, right? Yes. See? Classics in Mormon doctrine. Verily, thus saith the Lord unto you, my slaves. Missionaries. December 6th, 1832. This is before Brigham, or actually it's right after Brigham and Heber joined. Earlier in the summer, I think it was. Oh my God. And so, yeah, they've begun to do this. And Joseph Smith's perfect timing. Hey, that's just like me and my perfect timing of certain video topics when certain things are going on that I wouldn't find out about until later. Right, Senator Lee? One sperm! One! My precious! I don't want to waste it. Why are Mormons so stupid? Why? Why? This is why. Concerning the parable of the wheat and the tares, which is where Mark is talking about with Stanford's comments. Behold, verily I say, the field is the world, and the apostles are the sowers of the seed, the word. The apostles either go out and quote the Book of Mormon, quote Joseph Smith, or they make up their own doctrine. They either go and tell people that it's the Church of Christ and the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith, Jewish, or they're lying. And you shall know a false prophet or a false apostle by the fruits of the word, the results, the consequences. And so after the apostles have fallen asleep, the great persecutor of the church, the apostate. This is a Mormon in the church who's an apostate. It's not the heathen. They're not apostates. They were never in the church. They just rejected it. This is somebody who's in the church, somebody who's an apostle. And they just joined, and they began their ministry to where their hometown was of disgruntled former Scottish Rites Illuminati who want revenge on whoever was responsible for 9/11/1826 to save William Morgan's life and get him out of the country and finish the publication of the Book of Mormon. The apostate, the whore, even Babylon, the great and abominable church that infiltrated Joseph's church with tares. Behold, he soweth the tares, the falsehoods. So yes, Stanford, tares. No need to put a question mark. Right there. Joseph Smith, 86th Brigham Young, and Heber C. Kimball as new elders. Lying to people, saying it's the Book of Mormon, another testament of Jesus Christ, that the name of the church is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that we're Christian, not Jewish. Perfect. This points a graphic picture of the choking of the word. Choking is violence. Its purpose is to harm. Choking, severe difficulty in breathing because of a constricted or obstructed throat, lack of air. Yeah. And so it's preventing other people from speaking. It's taking away free speech. This is why you do not have free speech to take away the free speech of others. You can't overspeak them, as is the common practice by MAGA specifically, to just keep talking over the other person and keep on going, not allowing them to speak. That's choking the word of the other person. Or sending hate comments and death threats and thumbs down. People are trying to choke my word when they do that. Mormons are trying to choke my word to get me to deny Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon as Jewish. So true. Mormons have been oxygen deprived for so long that their brains have been starved and reduced to the size and function of a walnut. Anybody seen Land of the Lost, the movie version? Hilarious. Hilarious. Juica, Juica. I'm not translating that. What? Oh my God. That was awesome. Just awesome. Just awesome. Walnut. Okay, now we need the T-Rex so that we can have our picture. Awesome. I'm not seeing. This could be fun to watch again. Ooh, this could also be a fun picture too. Put the Salt Lake Temple there. Am I still recording? Yes, I am. So we'll need a walnut PNG. Come on, Etsy. Oh my hell. Hello. This is not. Seriously? Nobody wants to do the Walmart PNG, huh? That's not a PNG. Can't be reached. What the hell? LinkedIn. There we go. Oh my hell. Can't call it Walmart because I don't. I'm getting movie flashbacks now. Oh my God. Why teach in parables to prevent understanding, lest those who hear and see convert, repent, question mark, and be forgiven, question mark. All that given the preceding context of Mark 2 and Mark 3, which happened at synagogues, on the sea, at the shoreline, scaling a mountain, in homes, just like the postman. All of this in the context of Mark 2, Master of the Sabbath, 18 to 20. Why do the disciples of Dove, and of the Pharisees fast, and your disciples do not fast? Yeshua, or Joshua, said to them, are the children of the bridal chamber able to fast as long as the groom is with them? No. If he eats, he wants you to eat. But the days will come when the groom will be taken from them, then they will fast in those days. Famine of the word, Amos 8. Verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of God. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. In that day shall the fair Mormon virgins and young men faint for thirst. Thirsty. They that swear by the sin of Samaria, and say, thy God, O Danite, liveth. The manner of Beersheba liveth. Even they shall fall and never rise up again. You don't remember the videos, guys, Stanford might. As I began doing Jewish calendar months for you. And this is where Shechem and the Danites come into play here from what Amos is talking about. So you need to have it in that context. And yes, the fake temple, but also prophetic for the latter days. And so what is meant here in there's Mark, right? Yeah, 18 to 20. Bridegroom. Oops. Three. What passage is it? Mark 2. 18 to 20. And the disciples of John and of the Pharisees used to fast. That's because it's in the law of Moses. And they came and say unto him, Why do the disciples of John and of the Pharisees fast, but thy disciples fast not? So, John is Messiah ben Joseph, who's preparing the Mormons for Messiah ben David. The Pharisees are the false Melchizedek priesthood holders of the great and abominable church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They're the ones who are always coming to my channel and telling me that I'm a sinner and I need to be faith promoting to Jesus. John is Joseph Smith. And so Jesus is now in their midst, and now the people are no longer fasting, because the prophecy of fasting in the Moses law has been fulfilled. I have not come to destroy the law, but to fulfill it. Fasting is a symbolic type and shadow of the latter-day Christ. And that's why the author, who's a Jew, wrote this. And he's using Mark, which is a variation of Mars. You know, it's like a shield, or a warrior for Mars also is involved, but Mars is the enemy, the leader of the Pharisees, Caiaphas, the false prophet. And so he's trying to let you know that this is the latter days when this is all taking place in his prophecy here. And so Jesus is saying, I am the bridegroom. I am that I am on March 14th, 2025. How many missed that video? It's all transferred off the computer. The enemy failed. There's a delay. We're off script. Nevertheless, he says, the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken away from them, not the Messiah ben David. He comes to set up the kingdom of Zion for the millennial reign of peace. John is the one who gets beheaded, and thus the fasting. That's what's being talked about here. Messiah ben Joseph will be taken away from Mormons. Then they shall fast, for the symbolism of the coming of Messiah ben David. So, no man seweth a piece of new cloth on his old garments that are holy. Verse 21. And so the poor Mormons have all the hilarious jokes. My garments are holy, with or without the marks. Let's see, and Mark 3, the prophecy of Satan, casting out Satan, the house divided, that shall fall. Mark 3, 22 to 26. The image that I see in my mind's eye is Nelson looking into that hat, charged, indicted, convicted. And so he's quoting 22, and the scribes who had come down from Jerusalem were saying, he has Beelzebub in him, and by the ruler of devils he casts out devils. 23, and Jesus called them and said unto them in parables, how is Satan able to cast out Satan? 24, for if a kingdom will be divided against itself, that kingdom will not be able to stand. Yeah, it's the art of war. Divide and conquer. Get a people to fight amongst themselves as to which seed is true without ever testing to find out that both are wrong, and the people will destroy each other. And that's the prophecy of this church falling. Abominable church, and great shall be the fall of it. I think it's 28. No, maybe it is 22. Yep, there it is. War among themselves. 1 Nephi 22. And the blood of that great and abominable church, which is the whore of all the earth, Hades exit, Babylon, shall turn upon their own heads, for they shall war among themselves. This is why Nelson is playing both sides. He's for Trump in kicking out the wicked Mormons and apostates from Utah, but also saying, hey, we're going to support terrorists. We don't give a damn about their documented status or lack thereof. And that's to pit Mormon against Mormon in the state of Utah. That's what they're doing. That's why they're playing both sides, as they're profiting off of the stock market. They're just raking in $10 trillion thanks to Trump and his tariffs. But it's still not destroying the federal government yet, and so the churches get a bit frustrated with that, and so they're, again, doing other stuff to provoke Mormons to have this all caused. If Trump is also supposed to get fed up with all of the disloyal Americans for denying him what he wants to do to make America great again. And then he's going to send in the military into every state and purge America with a civil war, martial law, Insurrection Act, the Alien Invasion Act, all of that. That's what he's setting up. He's allowing the courts to tell him no. He's allowing the deep state Dems to sue and protest. He's allowing people to fail to do what he's telling them to do, as they claim, well, we're getting rid of the criminals. I even heard Fox News saying this. Well, he's just getting rid of the criminals. No! No! You women of Fox, you're not covered up and hidden enough for Mike Lee's porn. And Fox always gets their token black guy, token Islamist, token LGBTQ to come out and say how Trump is awesome. Trump knows what he's doing. These deep state Dems are clueless. I see what's happening, and it is so frustrating. Why is the Secret Service not investigating this church? And so, yes, this is the law of Purim that is being talked about here. This is how it works. From the book of Esther, which comes from Deuteronomy 19, verse 19. That which you falsely accuse in another is the same and worse fault in yourself. You are a false accuser. You are guilty. And so you are to receive the punishment that you have falsely accused for the other victim. And this is what the church is setting up. And they think that they're going to claim plausible deniability, religious exemption, as the leaders of the church, while the Mormons suffer and war among themselves, as Trump comes in and destroys Utah and leaves the church alone, when the church is responsible for the over 600,000 in the state of Utah alone. And then there's the Idaho one, and then the Hawaii. And there's other places in Arizona, Nevada, and wherever there's a temple. All out. The church has purposely set this all up in motion to purge the church. Section 119. So that only the faithful will remain. The wheat, as they claim. It's actually the tares that are bound in bundles and burned. And if Satan were to rise up against himself and be divided, he would not be able to stand, but it would be his end. Yep. You have to have a united front. Daddy says I can have the candy, Mommy. Oh, he did he? Daddy said I can have the $30. Oh, he did he? Dear, where's my egg of great price? Oh, well, I made the sacrifice for our daughter, dear. It was either $30 or your egg. A man cannot enter the house of a mighty one and rob his valuables unless he first binds the mighty one, and then he shall plunder his house. One mighty and strong. Yep. I'd appreciate your helping me through these 3 chapters. I see the prophecy, but not the date indicator language. Many thanks. That's what you're talking about. The date. the date. So, Mark is Mars. That's your big clue of the date. And so as you go through these, you need to know the time frame of the latter days to know when Mars takes over the throne of the great and abominable church. That's why the author uses Mark for this gospel. So for this, we need to go to Isaiah. Chapter 6. Oh, look, it's plagiarized in the Book of Mormon, errors and all. Therefore, we don't need to translate this correctly. In the year that King Uzziah died, and yes, Uzziah is a cool name in Paleo-Hebrew, and has a clue to the sign in the heavens for the latter days, for the date, as well as the name. I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne. So there's the death of a king and a new king who takes over the throne. And Isaiah is having a vision. Isaiah is Jesus, just flipped around. And so you have a transfer of authority from the old king to the new king. High and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Storehouse, Laban, heart, brass plates, Nephi. Transfer of authority. Okay, this is important because this also is part of the continuing prophecy here in chapter 7, verse 13 and 14. But he said, "Hear ye now, O house of David, Messiah ben David, a descendant of King David, Moses the third." First Armageddon. Is it a small thing for you to weary men, but will you weary my God also? Therefore, the Lord himself shall give you a sign. There's the date of the latter days in Paleo-Hebrew. He is telling you a prophecy, vision, dream based on the literal history of the 700 BC, or whatever it was, when Uzziah died. Even though this was written during the Qumran community of Jews, Dead Sea Scrolls. So this is not literal history of Isaiah. They're using Jesus in the time period of Uzziah when he died. And they're using that to give you the date of the latter days. And so you've got literal history that is a type and shadow for the latter days to tell you he's of the house of David Moses the third from Egypt, with Armageddon for Armageddon in the latter days. And he's telling you the date. And so it's that first year of the transition of authority of the leader of government. And then he gives you the dates of the latter days of Uzziah, the sun god of Yah. I will give unto you a sign, the first and last letters of the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet, that are the exact shape of the 3 days of darkness, 3 hours of darkness of the solar eclipse of the sun god at noonday of David Moses III from the Egyptians. And so this is his name, he who is from the crossroads of the Wagoner sun god at noonday. This is the sign in the heavens of the 3 solar eclipses. This is the shadows cast on the earth, so that you will know where on earth the prophecies are to occur and who would be the leader of government. Back then, leader of government was also the leader of the church. So if the location on earth is where they still have a theocracy, otherwise you're looking at a dualism of the religion that is being spoken of for the religious people of prophecy and for their government. Jesus is separated because you have Caiaphas of the religion, and you have the Kaiser with Herod as the designated tributary. Well, it's actually Pontius Pilate. Herod was the Kaiser. Okay? And so we already know, because this has already happened. It's the years 2017 to 2024. Because the 3 days of darkness are the 21st of August 2017, 14th October 2023, and April 2024, that form the first and last letters of the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet. As it gives you the path to Zion. And it's over the United States of America. Hey, it's the Mormon Church. Hey, it's the government of the United States of America. And so, in 2017, the government leader is Trump. January 20th. This is what Isaiah is prophesying. We know this now because it's happened. And so he then gives you the sign of the coming of the Jewish Christ, who would be a Mormon, because it's the Mormon Church. 23rd September 2017. Behold, Virgo shall conceive Jupiter and bear a son, and shall call his name Sun God at noonday. And it's in the Book of Mormon. And the Book of Mormon confirms, yep, he's going to be a Mormon. Joseph Smith confirms, yep, he's going to be a Mormon. The one mighty and strong is a Mormon. The man like Moses is a Mormon. The prophet is going to be a Mormon. The president of the church is going to be a Mormon. Just like Joseph. And Mormons really want him dead. So many thumbs down. Oh dear God. Let's find out how many. Whoops, it probably won't be in this one. Probably would need to go to the more recent one that I did. Mormons can leave the LDS Church, but Mormons will never leave them alone. Yep, 31.3% with only 5 likes, which I think is about 14 thumbs down, with 635 views according to this page. But AI screws up everything. Okay? And so, we know that this is to be the interpretation because, not just the Book of Mormon says so, but they also get it from Revelation chapter 12. And the Joseph Smith translation reaffirms this for us. And so here you have Isaiah's prophecy with the actual star chart giving you the day and the hour. Saw a woman clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. She cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. In verse 5, she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. Isaiah 6:1. And so the Joseph Smith translation knows very well you need to move this to verse 3. And then they add in verse 1 that there is a sign in the heavens, which is the day and the hour, in the likeness of things on the earth. That's the prophecy. And so we've already seen that there's direct prophecies with the days and the hours. There are dream visions with days and the hours. There's an actual word for the days and the hours from the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet. And then you also have parable symbolisms that likewise have the days and the hour symbolisms with them. And that's what Stanford is asking, is he's trying to find the day and hour in Mark chapter 2 chapter 2 to chapter 4, which I already helped him Mars. And so for the interpretation, before we go back to Isaiah for Mars, is in verse 7, and the dragon prevailed not against Michael, neither the child nor the woman, which was the church of God. That's the church that Joseph Smith founded. That's Mormonism. Virgo is to always be interpreted as the Mormon church. That's what he's saying here. Who had been delivered of her pains and brought forth the kingdom of our God and his Christ. The Mormon, born and raised in the great and abominable church that murdered Joseph Smith, stole his religion, stole his scriptures, and turned them all Christian. What the Jews called the abomination of desolation. That's why it's the great and abominable church. And they that come shall burn you. And Trump won't listen. Secret Service won't believe. Okay? So there's lots of different ways. Oops. So back to Isaiah. And 14 or 17? 14. Oh, look, it's also in the Book of Mormon. Errors and all. All right, talking about the wickedness, there's Babel in verse 8, Cedars of Lebanon, because that has to do with prophecy. That's in other passages in the scriptures. Ezekiel 17, parable of the eagle, who brings the Mormon Christ from the cedars of Lebanon to the San Francisco Bay Area where he is born, and his nativity is in Oakland, and then as a child he then gets moved to Michigan with the willow trees and the Great Lakes, and then he'll move to Southern California with the mountains. He will go and ascend to the top of the mountains before the latter days on the 23rd of September 2017 from Revelation chapter 12. That was the date. Also in 2017. That is confirmation that Isaiah is talking about 2017 to 2024. This is how you run tests using science. You get 3 confirmations and you've established fact. I've established more than 3 confirmations. And there's at least a dozen or so. I haven't been keeping track because I know it's factual. I'm trying to share it with you. And so here he's now talking about the false prophet. We already know about the false king. We know the true Christ. Here's the false prophet. This is Deuteronomy 18, verse 20. This is Doctrine and Covenants, section 85, verse 8. How art thou fallen on 9/11/2023, O Marion, or Russell Marion, son of the morning. Son of the morning star is Venus. The son of Venus and Mars is Lucifer. This was only put in the Latin Vulgate. It was not put in the Septuagint. It is not in the biblical Hebrew text. It is not in the original Paleo-Hebrew documents from the Qumran community. Lucifer was only put in because they know who the son of Virgo and Mars is. Venus and Mars. And so, in the sense, Mars is who's being talked about here, because he's the husband of Venus. Just as Jesus in Ephesians is the husband of the church, Jesus is the bridegroom for the fasting that we talked about earlier. The church is the woman. The church is the bride. So the 10 virgins are the church members going to the wedding supper feast of the Lamb at the Zion Temple. Revelation chapter 19, verses 11 and 17, and anywhere where he talks about Lamb, which is 2020 years after 8 April 2024 of Abraham sacrificing Isaac, which is 600 years before the time Lehi exodused from Jerusalem. It's all over the place. And so knowing the days of the latter days, the years of the latter days, both the solar eclipses and the lunar eclipses, and therefore the 23rd of September 2017 and the coming of the Mormon to start his ministry among Mormons in Utah, Judah, phonetically the same. All other scriptures now fit into that, because all Jews are ordered by the law of the Jews to write their scripture prophecies about their Jewish Christ in this time period. And so Mark, Lucifer. This is the fall of the great and abominable church in 1 Nephi chapter 22, where Mormons are going to war against each other and take down the church with them, or Trump coming in and taking down the church with them. Right? Why am I wasting my time if the church wins? And so, in a sense, he is telling you that Mars is the guy. And so the transfer of authority is not just for the leaders of the government. It's also the leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. When did that occur? 2nd of January, 2018. We go back to Revelation again, who tells us when Nelson will take over in the latter days. So awesome. So awesome. See, the Joseph Smith translation, by moving Vive to verse 3, merges 3 and 4 together. So verse 3 is the 17th of December, 2017. That was at the tail of serpents with Ophiuchus, where the God sitting on his throne is. And so that's why I knew verse 1. That was obvious. And so I just went forward from there and found verse 3, 17th of December, but I didn't know the event on earth until much later. Oh, that's what Nelson, not authorized yet, made the change for 11-year-old girls to go to the temple. For which in 2019 is now polygamy. And the secret code word for this is trust in the Lord, which in 2022 the primary used as their theme. Hey little girls, trust in the Lord. Doesn't President Nelson look yummy? Oh my God, run! Run! And so yes, that's why I did the videos condemning Nelson with Claire. Leave her alone, Nelson. Stay away from her. God. Adorable song, Gethsemane, though. That pause and looking at the camera, oh, just melts my heart. Dear God, she was awesome. Anyway, verse 4. I was having trouble finding it. I kept going forward. I can't find it, and thus I couldn't find God into his throne, because I was thinking it was after verse 4. Oh, Joseph Smith translation. Oops. But I didn't find out until after Monson died. Oh, tail of the dragon is not the same as serpents. It's now Draco the dragon. His tail draws the third part of the stars every year for the quadranted meteor showers, the first week of January. And boom, it peaked 2018 on the 2nd, 10:01 p.m. Boom, Monson's dead. And so who automatically takes over because of Brigham Young's change to the administration succession? Because he has to prove the church is true. Nelson automatically becomes the president upon the death. So just as Obama steps down and Trump takes over in 2017, here you have in 2018, which is still the same religious calendar year of the Jews for when, and even the government one for the new year, either Jewish calendar works. It's in the same year. And so you see how the scriptures prophesying about all of this, and they've all happened. Mormons can't deny this, because it gets awesomer when you've been following my videos. The 21st of August 2017 was Monson's birthday. It was also the ancient religious Egyptian calendar New Year. If you know about the Egyptian stories of Horus versus Set to take back the throne, the wounding of the eyes. So blinding of eyes in stories are a clue to a solar eclipse. So Isaac, with the transfer of authority from Esau to Jacob, the theft of the birthright and the blessing, Isaac is blind. Samson is blinded when he dies, sacrificing his life to destroy the great and abominable church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Philistine temple. And Bruce won't call it the temple. He says building. So yes, blindness. Jesus, who goes around healing people of blindness. You're supposed to understand not just mental blindness by having tares choke the wheat, but also the solar eclipses happening so that Mormons realize, oh crap, I've been lied to. This is it. Where's the Mormon? Who is our Christ? And Mormons remain in darkness. Okay? And so yes, story forms are also symbolic as well. And so Nelson, Russell Marion. Russell is red, Marion is the star of the sea, the red star of the sea, Mars. Mars was at the top of the scales of judgment when Monson died at 10:01 p.m. Nelson takes over the church. Mars is at the top of the scales of judgment. Nelson is the leader of the Danites. Judge Dan, Danites. These Jews were awesome. And Mormons just say, bleep you, Travis. Bleep you. Bleep you. Okay, so we covered the 23rd of September. So yeah, some extra stuff that I've been going over with you all these years is that the path of the solar eclipse on the United States also ties to Mormons with another confirmation that it's all about Mormons. 21st of August 2017 went over independence and Adam-on-Diamond. It takes you directly to where the Zion is supposed to be built. And Mormons would say Independence, Missouri, as we all believed, even I believed, because I didn't know about 19 July 1840 yet. Keep on going, Mormons. Keep on going. And so the 14th of October, 2023, obviously right smack over Utah. And then Ballard would die in that connection. Curse of Joseph Smith and the curse of the sun god at noonday for what they did to him in 2008. And then it also goes by Crossroads County, Texas. He who's from the crossroads of the Wagoneer sun god at noonday. And so, yes, you've probably heard the 21st of August had the 7 Salems. And I've checked, and there's a possibility that people might have known when establishing the town under the name Salem, even though they specifically were using the biblical Salem rather than calling it Jerusalem. But it is very curious. So whether or not they intended to do it, I do know that the person who built his home smack dab at ground zero of the crossroad, he knew. That's why he built his little cabin out there and called the name of the road Salem. And so then 8 April 2024, Kirtland, Ohio, Manchester, Batavia, Canandaigua. First shall be last, last shall be first. And yes, Crossroads County, Texas. I'm saying it that way so that you understand baby name meanings. He who is from the crossroads of the Wagoneer's sun god at noonday. So that's his name, just like Russell Marion is Lucifer, Mars, the false prophet. And Trump, oh dear God, that's obvious. The angel blew his trump. Which is Mercury, in case you didn't know. And so I've been following all of them this whole latter days, letting you know, using pictures to let you know, so that you would understand. And so the picture of the Lord of the Sabbath, because of the spelling from Babylonian Semitic Hebrew. The Jews used that language to turn it into prophecy of their coming Christ, to rescue them from Babylon, giving the days and the hours. And so, yes, Mark, by the very name title of the book, is your clue as to when it all is to occur. 2017 to 2024, and specifically Mars takes over on the 2nd of January 2018. And so any other clues that Mark gives you, because they talk about crucifixion of Jesus and quoting, I think, I'm not sure if they quote Isaiah's Revelation 12, but let's quickly go over 2 through 4, see what else. Yeah. Matthew, oh my God. Mark 2. Jesus forgives sins, heals a paralytic, eats with publicans and sinners, announces that he is the Lord of the Sabbath. So that's Sabbath that I have on the map of the United States with all the signs. So he's giving you the date there in the spelling of Sabbath and seventh day. And Son of Man. That's also your clue to the latter days. And 3, heals on the Sabbath. So again, there's the date. The name Sabbath in Paleo-Hebrew is the date. With 7 for the 7 years. He chooses and ordains the 12 apostles. 12 apostles are the 12 stars for the 23rd of September 2017. He's starting his ministry here in chapter 3. 23rd of September 2017 for chapter 3. He asks, can Satan cast out Satan? And then speaks of blasphemy against the Holy Ghost and identifies those who believe as his family. What are you talking about, Bruce? Then came his brethren and his mother, and standing without, sent unto him, calling him. And so in symbolic form, the mother is the church, Virgo. The brethren are the brethren of the church, the priesthood. And the multitude sat about him, and he said unto them, behold, thy mother, the church, and thy brethren of the priesthood, without seek for thee. And he answered them, saying, who is my mother or my brethren? He's talking about whose side are you on? Are you with the great and abominable church with the false priesthood, or are you with the church of the Lamb? Church of the devil, church of the Lamb. That's what he's referring to there. And he looked around about them which sat about him. Behold, my mother and my brethren, for whosoever shall do the will of God, the same is my brother and sister and mother. Bruce Arnekonke leads you astray on that. Church of the Lamb, church of the devil. There are saved 2 churches only, Mormons. You chose wrong. And then 4, Jesus gives parable of the sowers, gives you the false prophets, and thus Nelson, who takes over the church after 23rd September 2017, when Monson dies. He is the sower of falsehoods. And that's why I've been doing all my videos all these years about this, chapter 4. Nelson is sowing falsehoods among Mormons beyond what Brigham Young has already done. And that's what he's doing. He's choking Mormons. Okay? Does that answer the question? That was it, wasn't it? So let's check these other pictures. So yeah, Samson, the same thing. Judges 14:6, Samson, which means son king, Shemesh, son, and at the end is a suffix determinative in Paleo-Hebrew for king if it's a person, kingdom if it's a place. Samson, son king, not son child from Google search. And so Judges 14:6 is the death caused by the king, the sun king. So a solar eclipse with every death that is talked about in his book of Judges. And so the death of the lion is a solar eclipse in Leo the lion. 21st of August 2017. Death of his wife, burned by fire along with her daddy. Daddy is the sun. Virgo is impregnated by the sun. Daddy. Virgo. Annular eclipse, 14th of October 2023. Judges 15:6. And then Samson dying, taking down the Philistines with him. Judges 16:30. He's blind. Solar eclipse on the back of the white horse, 8 April 2024, where Jupiter, the Christ, Samson, is in Aries, the Lamb-Ram constellation. And so that's why I leaked yesterday or the day before of the 24th. Yeah, 24th of June. The sun joins and eclipses Jupiter. Jupiter becomes the sun god at noonday on June 24th. And so you've also heard me talk about Pentecost being on June 1st. You'll also notice that Mars, I've shown you, is on the... Which way do I go? Which way do I go? What? I don't have it. So is it still in the other file? Or did I not, or did I transfer it and not keep it here? Because it's like June, nope, there it is, June 16th. Yeah, I haven't transferred it yet. Still brand new. What the hell is this Copilot crap? How do I get rid of that? That's where Mars is now with Regulus. 21st of August, 2017. We're now back full circle. In the coming day. In the coming days. In the coming day. In the coming days. In the coming day. In the coming days. And Joseph Smith also let you know through another way, Stanford, to use pictures from the Egyptian documents to give you the day and the hour. Facsimile number 1, 2, and 3. Many other facsimiles, he only chose those 3 and published them. Those were the 3 days of darkness over the United States of America. Abraham being sacrificed by the priest of Elkanah on the lion couch. 21st of August, 2017. The woman's womb, also the eye, being eclipsed. Annular eclipse for the Ring of Fire, 14th of October, 2023. And then the wedding supper feast of the Lamb at the Zion Temple, 8 April 2024. Joseph knew, guys. Joseph knew. Mormons don't believe. No! No man knows the day or the hour. Nobody! We've got walnuts for brains. Walnuts! They're huge! So that was fun. Thanks, Stanford. So as I was transferring back some more pictures, I remembered that I alluded to, but I didn't go over the scriptures giving you the days and the hours from the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith, for that matter. But it's the same process. And so that's why I've been telling you to pay attention to the Exodus pattern in the Book of Mormon that is repeated over and 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 over. The start of the ministry for the Exodus is the 23rd of September 2017. And they let you know this in greater detail in chapter 1 of 1 Nephi. And so here you have learning of the Jews, so you're supposed to know prophecy and revelation for the day and the hour, and then language of the Egyptians, so that you're supposed to be thinking of the sun god at noonday. And in verse 4, the first year of the reign of Zedekiah, transfer of authority of government from the old government leader to the new one put on the throne by Babylon, which was actually Russia. Because that's April 4 CE, 600 years from the time Lehi exodused from Jerusalem. That's 2017, which is Trump. And we know that it's 2017 because of the second vision of Lehi, who is the Christ figure here, who has a vision within the prophecy. And thus being overcome with the Spirit, he was carried away in a vision. He saw the heavens opened, the sign in the heavens, sees God sitting upon his throne. Verse 5 that gets moved to verse 3. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1. And then he sees the sun God at noonday, which is Jupiter. And then 12 others who are stars in Leo, the lion. And so the 23rd of September, 2017. And sure enough, Lehi starts his ministry. 23rd September, 2017. The first year when Trump took over as President of the United States of America. And so he is given a book that talks about the gospel being restored. Nothing to do with the utter destruction of the wicked of Temple Square. Nope. Not at all. Nothing to see here. We're just going to not talk about it for the whole bicentennial year of 2023. That Travis spent every single video that year talking about it. There it is. And so thus Babylon is used here for this purpose. So you catch on. And how do the Mormons treat them? They want to murder them. Jesus is our Christ. So 2 Nephi 28. Quit looking for Jesus. Stop it. There is no Great Spirit. Mormons did mock him. So then he leaves. And so yes, this second vision is an exact pattern match for Joseph Smith's second vision. The first vision was about Joseph being Messiah ben Joseph, setting up for the coming of Nephi, which is his temple new name. That's another reason why it's Nephi. And the second vision has the sun god at noonday appear to Joseph Smith and gives him a book about the utter destruction, precisely as it stands in our New Testament, and says the coming of the Jewish Christ is after you. And so Joseph Smith, 22nd, day before the 23rd. It's just hilarious. And Mormons are clueless. I don't get how Mormons can botch all this. They just can't see it. So, there you have it.